everybody, my name is Emmeline. Welcome to my channel, The BENG Finance. If this is your first time here, hello, and if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. So today's video is going to be titled What I Spent in June. And so I just wanted to go through a breakdown of what I spent each month. That's going to be a reoccurring thing, just so I can see if I can notice some trends and my spending habits that can maybe help me along my journey of better managing my finances. And so I'm gonna be looking down a lot because, like I said in my first video, I'm a person, I do everything on my phone. And so I'm gonna be looking down a lot, and just you guys can keep you guys can sort of go along with what I'm saying on the screen. It's gonna be put on the screen somewhere, but I'm going to be reading it off here, and we're gonna get into some breakdowns of what I should do or shouldn't be doing towards the end. Bear with me because this is gonna be a long video. So basically, if we're gonna start with what I spent in June, let's see. So June 1st, I paid off my Nicor gas bill, I paid off my ComEd bill, and I paid off my Wells Fargo bill, my Wells Fargo credit card, and I paid off my, I didn't pay off, okay, so I made a payment, right? So I made a payment on my Wells Fargo card, I made a payment on my PayPal credit card, my Capital One credit card, I paid my rent. And okay, so one thing I forgot to mention, right? All the highlighted items on here are actually unplanned purchases, right? So anything that's highlighted is something that wasn't budgeted for, so to speak. So we're getting into some unplanned expenses here. So we have a Walmart purchase, which Walmart is like 5 minutes down from the street from me, and so this is going to be happening a lot. And then I donated to change.org, and then I gifted someone some money, and I spent, I got Wendy's, okay. Yeah, this month also a lot of fast food came into play. And then I had an Amazon purchase. Now this Amazon purchase was a business purchase. I'm trying to start a really small business, so once everything is put together, you guys will kind of get an idea of what it is. And then so June 2nd, let's see. So I had a capital deduction. Okay, so I'll get into this later, but I have some sinking funds on capital. And so that's where when you see a capital deduction on here, that's where it's going. But the reason why it's highlighted is because for some strange reason, I just haven't been planning the capital deductions in my planner. I have an app that I use as a bill tracker. I haven't been planning for it, and so that's why it's highlighted. And then I gifted $200. This was definitely a gift that was needed, and so I wanted to help someone out. And so on the 3rd, I get my Google storage. My Google storage was deducted, and I paid a second Nicor bill. And so the second bill, I realized I have my Nicor bill set to auto pay, right? But I also have a system where I pay all my bills in the first half of the month on the 1st, and the second half of the month on the 15th, because that's when I get paid. And so I've basically been paying my Nicor bill twice, and then the second payment is always used as a credit towards the next bill that's coming. I didn't know this until I called them about this double charge. But yeah, so that's where you see the second Nicor bill from, and that's why it's also highlighted, because I'm like, where is this going? And so on the 4th, I got food at my work canteen, which is usually not something I do. I try not to eat at work just to save that money. And then I donated to another organization called Act Blue. And then on the 5th, 2 Walmart purchases, and then a planned Klarna payment. So the Klarna payment is actually a purchase I made on Shein. I got some shoes on there, and so that's where that payment is coming from. And because those payments are scheduled 2 weeks apart, for four payments scheduled 2 weeks apart, so those I did put in my bill tracker. Now the Walmart purchases, I always split up my unplanned Walmart purchases, because usually I always get food. I have a super Walmart that I go to, so I always buy something that is grocery related, but then I also always pick up nonsense that nobody ever sent me there for. And so I'm pretty sure the lower one is probably the one that's 1080 is probably what I spent on food that day, and then whatever the $13 one is whatever randomness I decided to pick up when I was there. And so June 8th now, so I spent $5 on tacos. They were bomb. They were worth it. And then I spent money on Wendy's and on McDonald's. And I remember this day particularly because I skipped breakfast, so that's what the McDonald's went for. And then the Klarna payment, again, bought some shoes off of Shein, so that's where that's coming from. And then on the 9th of June, I had a New York Times subscription come out of my account. I actually canceled that subscription. I wanted to keep the subscription because, you know, we need to support our news sources, our local news sources, our papers. But I genuinely don't read the Times. Like, I got it because I read the news a lot, but I realized the news app on Apple basically covers what I need to know about the news, and so I ended up canceling my subscription. So this is the last time this payment will be here. And let's see. Then I paid, my capital transactions now came out of my account again, and again, they're unplanned, so that's why they're highlighted. And I set up 2 sinking funds on there so far, so that's why you see 2 different transactions this time. And then on the 10th, I paid for Amazon Prime subscription. I need to cancel that. Never in my life have I used Prime, even though I've been paying for it for so long. And on the 11th, I made a Walmart purchase. Again, nothing that I needed. I donated on GoFundMe, and then I made another business purchase on Walmart.com. So again, towards the small business that I'm trying to start. And let's see. So on the 15th now, I ordered pizza. I remember I've been breaking quarantine since all the lockdown relaxation started. And so the pizza was having sort of like a movie night, game night with some friends, and that's where that purchase came from. And then I paid for gas because, you know, we gotta get around. And then more Walmart purchases and some Forever 21 purchases. So this was the day I realized Forever 21 across the street from me was opened again. Slight damage. I mean, actually, it's not a lot. It was almost $100 purchase and a $52 purchase. This was made in the same day, same trip, but like I said, I like to split up my purchases so I recognize them when I see them. The $50 one was literally all earrings. Yeah. And the almost $100 one was some clothes, dresses, pants that I needed and stuff like that. Then I picked up McDonald's because I think I skipped breakfast again this day. And then on the 16th, another capital, something's in my mouth, another capital deduction. And then on the 16th as well, I paid off my Wells Fargo credit card. So that's why you see that charge of almost like, it was $650 right there. That was what was left on my Wells Fargo credit card. And then I paid my phone bill, which includes my phone and then paying for the plan itself. So I'm paying for the phone and the plan itself together. And then I paid my car insurance. Now, if you see there's what it actually cost me per month, and then there's what I paid because I keep getting these rewards, and so every month is different. Last month it was $10, this month it was $20, so I'm not complaining. And so yeah, and then on the 17th, paid off my Burlington credit card, my Burlington Coal Factory credit card, and that was roughly $730. And so yeah, I'm trying to knock out these credit cards. Like, I have no time, okay? And then I made another Forever 21 purchase. More clothes. Honestly, I think I'm trying to vaguely remember what I picked up, but it was more clothes. And then on the 18th, I went to the Salvation Army. I remember what I bought, and then I gifted $20, so I also remember where that went to. All of these unplanned, so you know, that's unfortunate. And then on the 19th, I paid my Microsoft storage, so OneDrive storage. I paid my Apple storage, that's another thing. Made another Klarna payment towards the Shein purchase, because, you know, no self-control. And then on the 22nd, I actually went back to check my Wells Fargo account that I paid off, right? And somehow there was a $10, you know, balance left, and it was from interest charges because I guess the pay period had passed. And so I ended up paying that, so that's why that's highlighted, because that wasn't planned. And then I paid my car payment, which is around to $70, and another Walmart purchases. These Walmart purchases just stacking up, like I don't get it. And then another Klarna payment for the shoe purchase from Shein. And then on the 23rd, $40 came out for capital for my sinking funds. And then another Forever 21 purchase, because you know we like to shop. And then I got food from work again because I guess I was starving or something, I don't know. And then on the 24th, picked up some Thai food with some coworkers at work. You know, we had like a girls' lunch or whatever, so that was cool, but again, unplanned, so there we go. And then on the 25th, I purchased a website from GoDaddy for my business, and again, I've been working on setting up the website. Now, the reason why this is unplanned was because I had planned to purchase this in August, but I got an email saying that they're basically going to delete my site if I don't pay for it. And so I was like, well, I guess it kind of forced my hand. So that's why I was paid for this month and, you know, not when I had planned to purchase it. And then on the 26th, another Forever 21 purchase because we are weak. Okay, we're weak in spirit. And also the Forever 21 is closing down, and so I was like, better get what you want now because it's not going to be here. So yeah, and then another Walmart purchase, also unplanned. Like Walmart is literally down, all these stores actually really down the street from me, and so like anytime I have an itch to scratch, I just need 5 minutes and I'm there behaving foolishly. And then on the 29th, let's see, so another Walmart purchase, and then a Salvation Army purchase, and a Goodwill purchase, and a after payment purchase. So the after payment purchase, basically I bought more shoes this time off of Pretty Little Things, and the reason why is because the shoes that I actually bought from Shein came in. I tried them on, they didn't really fit well, so I'm shipping them all back, and I try to find substitutes of what I was really looking for on Shein. So that's where the $29.89 charge is coming from for Afterpay. And then I went out with coworkers for drinks last week, and I'm gonna insert a clip, a very short clip of the beautiful scenery that I got to enjoy. And I basically just got, you know, some small amounts of food, and that was basically that, right? And so now moving on, so that's basically, I kind of broke down, I didn't mention every expense that I had the entire month, but that's basically like a quick breakdown of what I spent this month, right? And this information I got from my banking app, so every single transaction that just came through was what I wrote down. Now, this is an overview of my spending, so I like to take like a bird's eye view, not looking at the nitty-gritty transactions, but just a bird's eye view of what I've been spending so far. And so my total spent via the banking app was around $4,000, $4,600. Like, that's bad, period. Like, that's terrible. So we're gonna move on. So my total planned spending was supposed to be $3,500 roughly, right? And so that's why I'm saying, like, from what I had actually spent versus what I had planned to spend, that's wild. And so I paid my rent, I paid my utilities, I paid my phone bill, my car payment, my car insurance, my credit cards, my debt payoff, which were all planned. These are all the things I had planned to spend on. My shopping, which were all the Klarna payments that were being deducted. My online storage, the OneDrive, cloud, all them stuffs, and then a subscription, which is my Spotify subscription. The reason why I didn't mention this one is because it comes out of one of my credit cards, which I need to change to, you know, deduct from my checking account. But anyway, so that was what I had planned to spend. Now, basically, my total unplanned spending is, from what I calculated from what I got from my banking app, was $1,332.99. That's a lot. It hurts to even see it. So from all those random Walmart purchases I was making, added up to $122. My Forever 21 / Goodwill, thrifting, all that type of shopping, that added up to a whopping $297. That's like very shy of $300. That just doesn't make any sense. And then my food and drinks and eating out, all of that added up to $74, which unnecessary. My business expenses ended up being $376, which again, the business expenses are things that I've planned. Like, they're planned, but they're not, I haven't been including them in my budget. So every time I actually do spend on them, it's just spending that I haven't accounted for, which obviously throws my budget off, whatever budget I've been trying to maintain anyway. And then my savings, which let's see, my savings, so all the capital withdrawals that I have mentioned before, so all together they added up to be $153. And then this month I gave out $290 in gifts / donations, which is way beyond, like, I mean, none of this was planned. Like, I'm seeing all these unplanned things and I'm just like, what are you doing? You know, but at the same time, I can say some of these were actually like in need. And for me, even if I can slightly inconvenience myself, if somebody needs something and I know I can handle it, why not? You know, and then the debt part is the $10 that Wells Fargo billed me after I paid off my credit card nonsense. And then the miscellaneous was my, I think my Spotify bill and the, what's it called? The random NICOR gas bill that they charged me twice for. That was what the miscellaneous was. And so that was basically my total spending, right? Now, if we move on, some discrepancies that I noted in my own calculations was by calculating how much I spent, right? I got 480, let's just say, not 400, $4,800. That's basically what I got from adding up all the things that the bank app, you know, basically all my transaction, my bank app recorded. But then when I look at the actual spending that the bank app reports, it's around $4,600, right? And so when I do the math, there's about a $200 discrepancy that I can't quite account for. And so basically, I feel like this is like, I need to get better with my budgeting system, because, you know, there shouldn't be any money that's kind of just like randomly missing. And this is not money that I earned. This is money that I spent. So it's like money that's gone. So I definitely need to do a better job of keeping track of it. And then when I looked at my unplanned spending by calculating it, again, I got basically $1,100. But then when I looked at the banking app, what the banking app gave me, or what I calculated off of the banking app, it gave me $1,300. So then there's like a $200 difference of something that's missing. And I need to do, I guess throughout me filming these videos, I'll do a much better job of trying to close these discrepancies, because obviously there's money being lost somewhere, okay? And that's, yeah, none of that is ideal. So now moving on to basically, how do I say this? Looking at, again, a more bird's eye view of my finances. So before I broke it down just by what I had planned to spend, what I didn't plan on spending, and now I'm just gonna do it by percentages because it stands out more than anything. And so for my planned spending, I spent 60, well, nope, that's not it. I spent 36% roughly on my rent, which is quite high if I'm going to be 100% honest. Usually a lot of guidelines mention you should spend around 20% of your income on rent, and so this is not it. And then I spent 2.7% on utilities, which is minuscule, and I spent 3.2% on my cell phone bill, again very minuscule. I spent 7% on my car note, which, you know, that's what we used to make money, so, you know, it deserves some kind of cash, right? And then I spent 2.7 on my car insurance, and I've spent 4.6 on my credit card bill, so like my monthly payments, usually I just do the minimum required. And then I spent 39% on paying off my debt, so I paid off 2 credit cards this month, right? And so that's the 39%. And I spent 2.2% on shopping. Again, that was the planned shopping that I had, you know, actually budgeted for, which was the Klarna payment. And then my cloud storage was like 0.1%. Obviously, it's not a lot. And then my subscription to Spotify is the only subscription I have, and that's 0.3%. So, you know, basically the majority of what takes up my planned spending is my rent and my debt payoff system. With my debt payoff, the progress, I guess, which, I mean, that's what I had planned for, so it makes sense. I don't think I've ever looked at it in terms of percentages though, so this definitely helps me out. And then now for my unplanned spending, Walmart, all my random Walmart purchases ended up being 9% of my unplanned spending. My shopping was 22% of my unplanned spending. My business purchases were 27% of it. And then miscellaneous was 1%, and then gifts / donations, I couldn't fit that on there, were 21%. And my debts, which was that random $10 charge from Wells Fargo, that's 0%, so it's not much. My savings was 11%, and my food was 5%. Now, I'm looking at all of this, and I feel like all of this just needs to disappear. Like, unplanned spending, no matter where the money goes, I feel like it's money that I'm losing because, again, like, it's not part of the budget, right? So like, how am I magically finding like $1,000 plus to unplannedly spend it? Like, that's crazy, right? And so yeah, that's something I definitely need to look into. I mean, I usually don't, you know, give out that much gifts on a monthly basis. The shopping is really what alarmed me, if I'm not going to lie, because the shopping and the Walmart, honestly, I can add them together. And one thing I would say is like, this month of June was particularly stressful. Like, June first rolled around and just kicked my butt, and just continued to kick my butt all throughout the, you know, all throughout the month. So I don't know, it just definitely contributed to my spending. I'm an emotional spender. Like, I feel good when I'm spending money, and so whenever I feel down or anything negative is stressing me out, spending money is a very quick fix to that problem, right? And so this month definitely kind of showcased that. Like, I mean, I can pull up my previous month and it's much less than this. And so basically, and then the next chart we're looking at here is my planned spending versus unplanned spending, right? So out of all the money I spent this month, my unplanned spending was 27% and my planned spending was 72%. So basically, if I'm looking at this chart, that whole section of unplanned spending just needs to disappear. And so definitely in the month of July, that's what I'm going to be working on. Like, money is scarce these days, okay? And wasting it is not, that's just not what we're doing. And so now we can end on a good note, I guess. Actually, we won't end here, but definitely this is on a good note, right? So this is my credit card, this is my chart reflecting my credit card debt. So out of my total credit card debt that I had so far, this month I paid off 21% of it, right? So we're doing things. We are doing things. And I have 78% left of it. So it's definitely a uphill battle, but we are working on it. And I will definitely be credit card debt free before the end of the year. Like, we put that out there in the universe and I'm receiving it, okay? But one thing that I would like to actually kind of highlight, and I think I briefly mentioned it earlier, is because of how stressful the month of June was, right? If we go back to, again, the what I spent in June, the itemized list. I can't speak, right? But if we go back to the itemized list, if you can tell, from the first, there's been like a ton of unplanned purchases, right? So as we scroll through this year, there's just been a ton of unplanned purchases, and you know, it keeps going and going, and eventually all the purchases are just unplanned. And one thing I would, like I briefly mentioned, I'm very, you know, my how I spend my money is tied to my emotions in a way. The more content I am, the less likely I feel the need to spend. Usually when I'm stressed is when I'm just like, I'll buy myself whatever I want because like I need to feel better, you know? And so that's something that I know about myself, and clearly I need to work on. And I think this month I just gave into how crappy I was feeling. And like, I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, just how bad this month was, I guess I can forgive myself for it, but at the same time, you know, we're trying to build better habits. Like, I understand my behavior and I just need to improve on it. And so that's basically all that I have for you guys for this what I spent in June video. Definitely, you know, I can link the apps I use to make the charts. Those are easy. I used the Evernote app to kind of do my breakdowns. I use my regular phone calculator to calculate all these things. Clearly there's something wrong because the numbers are not adding up in a way, but you know, we'll progress with time, you know, we'll do better with time. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. If I'm forgetting anything, I guess I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for sticking around this long. Hopefully you learned something from it, or you know, hopefully you can actually sit down and also kind of look through your own transactions and see if there's any improvements you need to make. Again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Emmeline. You're here with the BENG Finance, and I will see you next time. Bye.